Welcome if you've not been here before. Today's look is Olivia Rodrigo at the 2022 Met Gala. So since this is quite a bold eye makeup look, we're going to start off with the eyes today. That way our face makeup won't get messed up as we go. So I'm going to prep my eyes with some concealer. This one is from Ellen Tracy. And if you prefer an eyeshadow primer, you can certainly use that as well. Just gently patting that in with a beauty blender. And now we're all set to start our eye makeup. So this look uses a lot of purples, shimmers, a little hint of a silvery white. So I'm going to be using two separate eyeshadow palettes today. One is Color Club. This one is by Suzukiki. And the other is Too Faced Better Than Chocolate, which has a nice shimmery purple in there, as well as a tiny bit of a shimmery white left. We want to start off with that shimmery white color right in the inner corner of the eye, extending it just about a quarter of the way, the lower lash line. And next we'll grab that purple color. This one is called Sugar Rush, and this one is just going to go right over the remainder of the eyelid. Now I'm just switching to a fluffier brush, that same color, and bringing it all the way up into that crease, extending it towards the brow. Now switching over to the Color Club palette. So I'm going to start by grabbing this deep purple. Just want to tap off the excess there and start adding that right in the outer crease. It's going to add some beautiful dimension. We're also going to use this right in that inner crease. Again, just using a very light hand. It's a bold look, but it's still ethereal, and we don't want it to go too costumey or clownish. And I'm going to switch down to this almost violet purple and start adding in just a touch right next to that deeper shade. And now last, this more berry purple, and this one's coming in the very, very outer part of the eye, the opposite side of that deep purple. And now just switching to a dense, fluffy brush. I'm going to give this a nice blend. Once the edges are nicely blended, I'm going to go right back in with that shimmery white Milk It. And this one is going right up the center of that crease, extending upwards towards the brow bone. And now to finish off the lids, are going to switch to another palette because we do need a silvery color. This one is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold, and we have dripping diamonds here, and we can be quite generous with that silvery color going on the inner lid. Now I'm going to go back to my little palette here and using an angled brush just to create a purple liner along that bottom lash line. And once that's all set, cleaning off my angled brush and going right back in with a little more of that silver right over the inner corner of the eye to make sure that we have that bright pop. Alright, things are looking a little crazy right now. Let's do just a touch of cleanup before we move on. I'm using a makeup wipe just to clean up anything that might have gotten underneath my eyes. Next, I'm going to grab my Revlon Color Stay eyeliner. This is in black. And I'm going to get this as close as I can to my lash line, avoiding the very inner corner of the eye, Now for that wing, I'm going to switch over to a liquid liner. This one is Duo Stroke from Absolute. I'm going to use this nice little thin side. And creating a wing that's nice and thin, elongating the eye. Next, I'm going in with the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. And she's definitely wearing false lashes in this look. I do recommend them just to really offset the color of the false lashes, add a lot of depth, darkness, and will really make the eye makeup pop more. So I'm just going to use some of my little cluster lashes here. And once these are completely dry, I'll give them another swipe with some mascara, but I like to wait until the end just to make sure that glue is fully on there before we accidentally pull it off with the mascara wand. So let's move on to the face. Since her eyes are quite heavy, she's sporting a very clean face. I'm going to go in with my Estee Lauder foundation. This one is in the color 2N1. And as you can probably tell, I'm a bit under the weather. My skin is a little beaten up from being sick. Going fairly full coverage on this. And I'm sure that given this was a red carpet event, her makeup was full coverage as well. And now just finishing up with a beauty blender here. As far as concealer goes, I'm just going to place this in any areas where my skin's looking a little rough. This one is not for contour. We really just want that skin to look as fresh and flawless as possible. Alright, so now let's go in with some blush. I'm going to use Worth from Rare Beauty. This is a putty blush. I want it to be quite subtle, so I'm going to grab some on my finger, put it right on the back of my hand, grab back my foundation brush, and just lift up some of that. And she has that beautiful sun-kissed look that's spreading across her cheekbones and her nose. You can gather up more blush as you need. But you can always add more, and it's a lot more difficult to take away. So I suggest doing it in light layers. We do want to look sun-kissed and not like we have a cold. Just bringing that up on the nose a bit. So a very subtle blush here, but it does add to that look. Next I'm going to grab Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in medium. And I'm just placing that directly below the cheeks, as well as on the chin, and some up near the hairline. And again, this is going to be a subtle effect, but really make the face look like a beautiful, clean, but gorgeous palette for the eyes. Alright, now that our face is done, we can go ahead and fill in the brows. I'm using the Maybelline Brow Express, and I just want to fill mine in to look quite natural. Hers are not overly done. So mine are much more sparse than hers. So just using short, light strokes to make those a little less sparse. Bring out the angle. Oops. Give them a little bit of a brush here. Now lips. She has a not quite nude, it's a little peachier or more salmony than nude. This isn't a color that I have on hand, nor that I generally would lean towards wearing. So I'm going to create it, and if you are like me that you don't have this one right on hand, hopefully this trick works for you. I'm going to grab my Italia Deluxe lip liner. This one is in Mango, so it's a very deep orange or a very light red, however you want to think of it. We're just going to very softly line the lips. And I'm just adding a hint of that color to the lips as well. Looks crazy at the moment. And now I'm just going to gently blend this all in to my lips. Now I want to take the color down just slightly, so I'm going to choose the Maybelline in 235 Warm Me Up. And this one is fairly subtle pink. Again, just dabbing that on there. I want these two shades to blend, not compete with each other. And once those two colors are on, you can go ahead and cover it in your favorite gloss, or as I'm going to do, just grab my lip mask. Alright, now let's take out my braids and see if we've achieved anywhere near her hair texture in this look. I was hoping not to have to do a whole thing with the curling iron today. Doing my best. I always get makeup in my hairline. It looks like I'm going gray. I'm not. Alright, so let's add some little butterflies here. The butterflies might distract from my poor attempt at her hairstyle here. And now we can just give those lashes one extra coat of mascara. And this is the completed look. And this is a fun one. I'm not sure that I would wear it day to day, but I really enjoyed doing it. I love a good purple eye. And this really reminds me that spring is coming. Maybe not as soon for me. I live in a very cold climate. We just got a few inches of snow on the ground, so it's a nice reminder that spring will eventually come. I hope you enjoyed this look, and I will see you in the next tutorial.